Club owners works.
They have the Hooters dance party.
man.
That was
Right.
hilarious.
I think really right from the beginning, I always felt there was something really special the first nights we played. And then especially when we came into Philly, we played Grendel's every Monday night. And that was where you really saw it growing every week. You know, the audience would double and triple. And then by the end, it was sold out. And, you know, it was summertime and just a line around the block. And we had started, I guess, in February or something. And by the summer, it was really peaking. And all with our music, you know, even the covers that we did were real obscure reggae things or a lot of ska tunes, and then most of it was original stuff. So people were coming to hear our music, and that's the strongest shot you can get, you know. I mean, that's when we really decided, let's make some records and let's get this thing out. But that all happened at once, and MMR came down, and we started to get some airplay with some early demos, which were very rough, you know, and, you know, even in that rough state, you could see that it was something different, I guess, for people. And also for all of us, we've been in, probably together, we've been in over 100 bands, I'm sure. You know, like, we've all been in a lot of different groups, and we've been playing a while. And so you finally reach that point where the formula is right. I guess the chemistry between the band members and between the audience starts to click. What the end point is, because we really have reached a level of success where we have a lot of things that I guess we used to dream about in terms of just being able to do our show and work at this full time and have people that work with us. But there's always that next step, and I mean, I think we're working harder now than we ever did. We're putting in more hours, and we're kind of more driven to making the music better. So I don't know when that stops for a band. I know for us it hasn't, you know, hit that at all.
It's funny, it goes in a big circle. You know, because when you're a kid and you're working hard, writing songs and learning how to play your instrument, and you dream about playing at the Spectrum. And we played the Spectrum, and, you know, now the thing that really gets us off right now is writing songs and playing our instruments. You know, and I think ultimately that's the thing that will lead you to success, and that's ultimately the thing that really is the success. The work is its own reward.
What made you decide to tour Europe and then Japan?
I had nothing. Actually, that's something that's planned with management and an agency, and, you know, I'm sure the record has a lot to do with it. You know, promoting that. I was really excited to go to Europe. My family, all my relatives live in Finland, so the first place we went to was Helsinki, which was incredible.
Where David is God.
Yeah. It's a small country, so I mean. I think in the paper they called the band David and the Hooters. I mean, but it was really nice, like, to have the opportunity to, like, all my relatives came out and everybody kind of looks like me. Our manager was with us and he kept on saying that. But we went all over Europe, and it was fantastic, because as a kid we would go back to Finland, but I never had an opportunity to go to Germany or Holland or England, places like that.
You know, what was going through your mind during that whole initiation period?
To tell you the truth, the first couple of weeks of touring was a real challenge, because I was basically learning the material, and I was still trying to figure out, okay, what's this, let me get this to. I mean, I was always a fan, so I had albums and things at home, but I was not on automatic pilot yet, and my first 2 weeks was just making sure I had the show nailed down before I could start. I mean, you know, seeing that the crowds were different than American, I couldn't really tell at that point. But basically, by the end of the tour, I felt a little looser and had a good time. It was great.
All right, let's talk about what's next for the band.
What's next? We've been working on an album, believe it or not. It's funny, because some people even thought the band has gone into some hiatus or permanent hibernation. One thing we did do is record most of the album in Philadelphia, which we hadn't done since the Amore record, which was the first independent album that we did. And we thought we wanted to get a little more rootsy feel, and we felt that the facilities in Philly were good enough, and we had a lot of fun doing it that way, so we kind of kept it local, and I think that gave us kind of opened up some new doors on how to approach it. So That was good.
Look for that new album by the Hooters later this summer, and also an album by this cool cat, Richard Bush. The days with the A's are behind him, but he is so hot with his new band, The Candles.
They were one of the first, I guess, the A's. I remember seeing them at the main point, and I thought they were great. They always struck me as like new wave. They were like something really new, and I thought they were great live. You know, it was really good, and the records were good as well.
The last year at the A's was so horrible. I mean, it was just, you know, we stopped writing. We were like fulfilling financial commitments. We sort of had to stay together for a year more than we would have liked to, and it wasn't fun. And then, you know, at the end of that, I just like thought, wow, you know, I'm too old to rock and roll, you know, because when I was growing up, you know, by the time you're like in your, you know, even close to 30, that's it, you know, you're over as far as rock and roll goes. And then I looked around and I saw like the Rolling Stones, and they're like 70 or something,
Oh,
I think.
wow.
60, 70. And, you know, I thought, wow, you know, you can do this forever.
For a guy who's been there, in fact, led the way in the late 70s, early 80s, Richard Bush looks like he's got plenty of rock and roll left in him. His new band, The Candles, is appearing at the Shore and all over the Philly club scene this summer.
Oh yeah, I've been playing with him since I was 15, and he's had his ups and downs, but he's at his peak now. I believe that. He's really the best he's ever been now. He's just the confidence that comes with maturity and just like knowing the mistakes that he's made in the past. He's just better, and his vocal range has increased. He can sing higher now than he did when he was a kid. It's incredible.
Yeah, you're really unique as a performer because in a lot of ways you're like an actor and you have great concentration and you work off the audience and you're playful and charismatic. What actually goes through your mind when you're on stage?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. It depends. You know, sometimes it's like what the words are, you know, sometimes it's what that girl's phone number, whatever, you know, and sometimes it's, you know, a real moment where things just crystallize and it's like a real thing, you know, where the words are making absolute sense to what I'm doing. And, you know, I just try to, you know, again, get that Zen thing where things just come through. I try not to plan, you know, I try to be real, you know. It might look like acting, but it's really just trying to, you know, get the real stuff, the primal things.
They know what they want, but sometimes guidance and advice from someone else outside of the group is very helpful. But in the end, the success, you could have the best manager in the world, the success boils down to one thing, and that's the songs, the melodies, the songs. And the manager can't write the songs for you. But once you give the manager the product, the finished product, then there's many things that we can do. But it really, in the end, it's all down to the tune.
Right now, we just want to play a lot, get as good as we can be. I think we have the potential to be real good. I think we'll be like phenomenal by the end of the summer. All we want to do is like be the best we can be. Candles will be an important band. They'll be the important band from Philadelphia.
Sound, while knowing it's more than raw talent that helps grab the ring. From the fresh determination we see in Richard Bush's eyes to the genuine excitement of Heaven's Edge, from the freewheeling talents of Dinah Groove to the international appeal of the Hooters, there's more than a few music lessons behind all of these success stories. We hope you enjoyed Making It in Philadelphia, our first in a series of PHL 17's look at local rock and roll. Join us August 4th, mark it down, for another behind-the-scenes look at your favorite Philly rockers. I'm John DeBella. Thanks for being with us. And as for the bongos, deo, lo, deo. Daylight come and they want to go home.
Making It in Philadelphia has been brought to you by 93.3 WMMR. 21 years as the home of rock and roll in Philadelphia. Pizza Hut, making it great. Wall-to-wall sound and video, the leader in home entertainment. Sports Talk, the hottest new player in baseball. And by Barnes, the root beer with bite.